Okay, so I am here. I'm at the house site, and what I'm looking at right now is what used to be a tree standing next to the side-by-side. And I've cut this pole exactly 10 feet, 1.5 inches. And the reason I've done that is I want to illustrate what the finished floor level will be in the top of the wall. So hang on, we'll take a look at that.
Hi there, I'm Kevin.
I'm Sherry.
Welcome to Logs, Bogs,
and Meadows.
Hi there. So I'm Kevin,
I'm Sherry.
and this is our forest property. Right now we're doing what we love to do most when we come here, which is sit by the fire. And today we're very fortunate because it is the middle of March, and today's forecasted high is supposed to be 70 degrees. And so it started out a little chilly, 34 degrees, but here a little before 10 a.m., I think we're already up in the 50s. We're starting to feel a little bit of a breeze, but we are very happy to be here. We took the day off. It's a Wednesday, and just wanted to spend some time in the forest. We had a good reason to come here today. We had to meet with the electric company to relocate our temporary electric service, at least come up with a pathway and a plan. So we met with the excavator and we met with the electric company, and it's all figured out. And now it's just a matter of deploying that plan. So Sherry, how do you feel today?
I feel very nice and relaxed because just get to relax in the forest, enjoy the sunshine, and bring the puppies. And went for a nice little walk, checked the RV out, checked all of our chairs and our rugs, and all seems to be going well. There's signs of spring, so that's very nice. Can you hear me? Because you're wearing a microphone.
Well, I can hear you. I'm sitting right here.
I know you
Can they hear you? I don't know. We will find out when we play that back.
Okay.
Okay. Which reminds me, we need to get another microphone
do?
so we can have two microphones going at the same time.
Yeah.
My hunch is that it picked you up because you're not soft-spoken, but we will find out later. And for reference, we are in the Oak Grove. The Oak Grove is where our pavilion is. It's where we like to camp. And yes, we brought our motorhome today, but we do not intend to spend the night. We don't have food. We don't have water yet because it's still winterized. But it was nice to come with the RV today because we could bring the pups, and we could just had a place to be able to get in out of the wind if we need to, because it is a bit breezy today. But
Also to check out everything before we were going to go camping.
correct. The shakedown.
Yes.
Did the shakedown
The
today.
evaluation.
Right. And everything seemed to be fine. Last night I went and got some fuel, and for some reason the fuel gauge was not registering full, but this morning it did. So we'll just say it was a little tired last night. So.
And we had to fix the whatever that piping was on the side.
Yeah, there was a weird thing that above our awning there was a piece of piping is a good word for it. I think that's perfect. It's a piece of plastic that went across there, a vinyl, and it was out of the groove, and it was a little concerning, but it seemed to go right back in within 10 minutes. We had it fixed, so that's good.
Loki wants attention. Lots of attention.
Yes, this is Loki. This black dog here is Loki.
See, it's black and white.
Black and white. Black and
Say
white
hi.
dog. Yes.
Not over there. Loki over there. Go say hi.
I don't know if you can see Roxie. She's curled up on the chair right now, and I don't know where Harley is. He's back by the RV, I guess.
Yeah, he's laying on the rug in the sun.
Yeah.
Come here, Bubba.
So here I am over at the home site, and I'm standing here with what used to be a tree. It now is a pole, and I have cut this pole to a very precise length. And the length of this pole, or height as we look at it now, is 10 feet, 1.5 inches. And the reason that I cut that pole to 10 feet, 1.5 inches, because when I place this pole on the footer in the basement, the top of that pole is going to be at where the finished floor, or I should say the subfloor, the top of the subfloor will be. And it gives us an opportunity to look at the elevation in relation to what our current grade is and what our future grade will be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk up to the edge of this front porch footer carefully without falling or knocking dirt in. I'm going to stand this pole here on top of this footer. I'll hold it straight up. And in doing so, what's going on right now is the top of this post here, this pole, is going to be where the floor will be coming out to the front porch. Now, I'm standing on the front porch footer right now. The other thing is this here, this little notch that you probably can't see, but my fingers on right here, that is where the top of the concrete wall will be. And that's a 9-foot difference between the top of the footer and where that will be. So we're now standing at the front of the house, shooting from the back of the house, and you can see that it's going to be up a few feet from where the current grade is, but it's not going to be up tremendously high. And what will happen is, as the house is built up to this, again, this elevation, let's kind of look at about waist high to me right here. As they come down with the final grading, they will go down in, create a swale, and come back up to the house. That way, all of the water as it falls can come down, but it can't come back up. So there'll be a swale here, and that swale will come around to the side of the house this way or this way, maybe both ways, I'm not sure right now, and it'll make sure that it diverts water around our house instead of up to and down in our house. This is Harley. Harley's my 10-year-old German Shepherd, our 10-year-old German Shepherd. And he's a sweetheart. He just likes to be with me wherever I go. And right now he's in the side-by-side just chilling while I do my thing. Love you, Harley. Okay, so now I'm standing at the back of the house. And I'm actually standing on the footer for the back porch slab. I've got the same pole that I'm now measuring the elevation of the back. As you can see, I can barely touch. I have to tippy-toe to the top of that. The top of this represents where the finished floor will come out in the back of the house. Right here where my finger is right now, that there is where the basement wall, the concrete wall, will be. So you can see from looking at the front to the back that the elevation in the back is going to be much higher in relation to the current natural grade of the property. Now, this morning we had the opportunity to meet with the excavator, and we used this same pole here to have the discussion with him about how we're going to grade this property. Because our goal is to have a yard that is just gently sloping out our back porch. We don't want to drop off. We don't want a hilly yard. But what we have is a site that slopes from the front to the back. So that comes with a little bit of a challenge. Most people would take a site like this and create a walkout basement scenario. But, we've decided that where we are in our lives, that a walkout basement is not how we want our house to be. So we chose to do it differently. So now as we look at the top of this here in relation, it continues to slope back. And really what we wanted to talk to the excavator about is, what's our yard going to look like? How much yard are we going to have? How much is it going to fall off? And how can we create an environment back there that's going to give our dogs enough space that we can fence in an area, not have to worry about them running off into the woods to chase squirrels or deer or anything like that. And the conclusion is that the majority of our backyard will be not very deep. It's just going to drop off too much. In fact, when you're looking at some of these smaller hickory trees that are currently almost buried up 6 feet on the bark, they're going to have to come down. And we kind of knew that might happen, but it confirmed what I thought might happen, and that's we got to take a few more trees off, which is no biggie. But furthermore, what we're going to have to do is find a way to head out over into the forest a bit, into the woods, where we can create an area we can fence in and we can give our dogs enough room so that when we let them out back, they have a nice area to roam. And we can also put a fence in that won't be going off a cliff. So that's that. Now I want to recap what the conclusions were from the meeting with the electric company and the excavator. Basically, there's a telephone pole back there, and that is where the electric comes in, and it goes underground all the way up the lane here. And turn around here, and there's a transformer. Service comes in here to the transformer, and then there was a trench that was dug, conduit in it. So a few years ago, I'm going to follow this trench line, which to me is distinguishable. Might not be as distinguishable on the video, but we'll give it an attempt, and we'll walk down to the home site to give some reference regarding the temporary electric service and then what will be the relocation. So we are still kind of walking in the trench, so to speak, or on top of where the trench was. We see the electrical service panel here, and so walk around to the other side of this. What we'll see is the electric meters on the front, and then the circuit panel is to the left of it, and this what needs to be relocated. So they did us a favor, the electric company, a few years ago when they put this in, and they left this 15 feet of wire inside the transformer so that when we wanted to go with our permanent service, we had some extra slack there to be able to get it into the house. Now, at that point, the house was not totally designed. The house was not finalized, and we put it in the best location we could. But now, as we're here, if we just basically run the electric service in from here into the front of the garage, what we're doing there is we're creating a situation where we're having our electric meter on the front of our house. And there's going to be two windows here and here in the garage. And from an aesthetic standpoint, that's really not ideal. Secondly, the preferred location for the electrical circuit box is going to be on the back side of this wall between the mudroom and the garage. And so if the meter comes in over here in the front, you still have to get to the location on the other side of the garage to run the electric service before it's fed into the circuit panel. So the conclusion today was that we're going to have to go back up where the trench was, and we're going to have to excavate down to the conduit somewhere in here. We'll peel it back to here, and in doing so, there'll be a new trench that'll basically come down through here, through these small saplings, they will go. And as it comes down here, it'll come out around, it'll swing around a loop, and trying to avoid any tight 90-degree turns, it'll eventually, we might have 190 where it has to come in here and come into the garage here, and that's where our electrical panel will be. The plan right now is to leave the temporary service panel in place for a period of time until we get the framing done, and then we'll do the work to relocate that electric service inside. So in the meantime, you know, most of the time the electrical panel will continue to be of use for the contractors who are building the house for us. Okay. We look down at the stone that's inside our pavilion, you'll see that there are what looks like oil marks. And I've kind of covered it up with some stones. Thank you, Harley. I know your life is miserable. But you can see that as we pulled the tractor out here, there's a trail. It goes all the way out here. This is where I swung out and I backed up the tractor. So we've got some leaking fluids, and I'm pretty sure I know what they are. Okay, we are looking at JimBob. JimBob is our tractor. It is a Kubota LX2610. We've owned this tractor for almost 3 years. Right now we have the root grapple on the front, which is very handy to, you know, pick up logs clear brush and so forth. But there's a few things going on with it. The first thing is if we look at the right front tire, it looks like it's got some flatness. I know what you're saying. It's only flat on the bottom. It's fine. But I think we all know that there's a bigger problem here. So the first step will be to put some air in it, but then also to check for any nails, screws, or anything else that might be in it. All the other tires, at least visibly, seem to be okay. I think the bigger issue here is that there is some hydraulic fuel leaking. When we're looking in the pavilion, we saw the trail of fluid, and there were two of them. And when you look right here, we have two connections. There's two connections here, these hydraulics, okay, but then they hook up to, these two connections here. But the problem is that those two connectors there don't seem to be far enough apart to be the problem. So I'm not sure that is the problem, but I'm going to try to diagnose this and see where this fluid's coming from. So we're here with our Kawasaki Mule. It's Firecracker red, so we renamed it Firecracker. And Firecracker has this problem because there's this little compartment here where the battery is. And it seems to be a location that animals like to get into. So what I'm showing you right now is over the course of the winter. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a lot of nuts in there that have been chewed. And I'm not sure the focus is working correctly. But, the problem really is the tube. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a tube that comes off the battery that's been chewed by, I think, a mouse, and it's made a hole in it. So now we have some repair work to do. This is one of the fun things of keeping your equipment in the forest where little animals and critters are. They like to get into pretty much everything, so...